live from the Kokomo's. All right, so you are listening to an episode of Transparency and Merit with Brian and Joe, and it's a grab bag kind of night, May 16th, 2021.
Yeah,
So,
I think I heard a little bit of exciting news. We know someone who is, kind of involved in the Arizona audit, and she's going to give us some clarity on exactly what's going on, if there are irregularities, what type of irregularities there are. So I want to check that out and see exactly, what the whole deal is with this whole audit thing. I mean, and if
I'll tell you what, I feel really good that I don't watch the news. I know nothing about it. I happened to be in Phoenix the first day that this thing was starting and it was in the news. I had no idea. Like most stories these days, other people have to tell me. I think if a story is large enough, it gets to me no matter what. And since I was in Arizona, somebody I know in Arizona called me and was like, "Oh, are you here to check out the audits?" And I had no idea what they were talking about. Do you know what these are audits about? I mean, I know now, but do you know anything about them?
you know, I know a little bit. They're trying to find the routers. I think, and you know what? I could be certainly wrong, so I don't want to. I think what they're trying to do is to see what kind of irregularities there are, and if the if
Irregularities from what? From the
ballots if the ballots match if the ballots match the people.
but
um
I think what people are like dumbfounded about is that wait a second, you're talking about the election that Joe Biden won?
yeah.
I mean, people are like, what the heck? I mean, it's May, man. It's the middle of May.
Well, and that's that's a question we're going to have to ask the person there. Like, it is May, and what is the whole situation with these ballots? Are there irregularities? Do they match up? I mean, I think that's what they're trying to find. But I'd like to. And the thing is, the news media is not really covering it that much. I mean, and if they're covering it, unfortunately, they're really covering only the side that is against the people conducting the audit. And my opinion is there should be a debate. People do still feel passionate that that the integrity was the selection was not didn't that there were irregularities, and those should be investigated and examined. And if they're not true, they should prove those people for the frauds that they are. If they're fraudulent, let's have a discussion. I guess they're afraid of what happened in January 6th will continue to happen, even though that happened was one incident. Uh, Although we had months of riots, but we still talk about police brutality and police misconduct whenever we see it. Why can't we examine the facts? And actually, you can't even examine the facts of what is good policing and what is bad policing, and you can't examine the facts on election integrity. Was there is it was it secure as possible, and was there any funny business? I mean, and maybe and you know what? Maybe they've already gone over this, and they're just grasping at straws. That's a possibility. I don't know enough to make a clear assessment on that. Another thing that has been happening is Israel and the Palestinian issue has been really, really heating up, Joe, and
Mhm.
kind of a sad situation. I don't. I mean, I have my feelings about the situation, but but it's still like the feelings are not as well put together as they can be. And I certainly would admit that I certainly could be wrong on that issue of this thing. From my understanding, the Palestinians, Hamas attacked first, and then and then Israel retaliated, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, they have to keep the military industrial complex has to keep the prices of oil high. They will do anything to keep those prices where they're at or higher. And in our current case, it's going to keep going up. You might recall that after the shutdown last year in 2020, the price per barrel of gasoline or whatever it is, crude oil, plummeted. It was under $20. I think it was in the $15 range at one point per barrel. Currently, we're in an economy where I'm not 100% on where it's at now, 60, maybe $65, if I'm not mistaken. There was a day this last week rather, where the price of oil plummeted, went down $5 a barrel probably. And the next day we had, as predicted by a lot of financial analysts that I listen to, they all predicted just keep your eyes open for an event, some sort of event that's going to create a rise in demand for crude. The next day, we had a hacking situation. Before that, a couple weeks ago, you might remember an oil tanker got fork knifed in the Suez Canal, which also drove the price of oil higher. So oil keeps these militaries in the world running. And in my view, they'll do whatever it takes to keep those prices up. And if that means getting hacked, then let them get hacked. Didn't surprise me one bit.
Now, Willie,
I've put my money where my mouth is, by the way. I've actually bought crude. I that's one of the stock tips that was recommended to me, and I executed on that a month ago or 6 weeks ago, and it's done exactly as it's been expected to. It's gone up. The price of crude has gone up for a month straight, and every time it gets hit and there's pressure, a downward pressure on the price of oil, you see another event happen. So yeah, in my opinion, these are all orchestrated events. So
yeah, I mean that remains to be seen. I don't know if I'm sketchy on that. If that is,
well, I'll just get an idea then. How much time did you spend in the last 2 months researching that? Just
I didn't, but
okay, I did. That's why you could be a doubting Thomas all you want, but you're sitting on the sidelines paying higher gas prices and getting hit at the pump when you're letting your money just sit there and you're not working or exercising your opportunity right there to grab some fairly cheap oil prices, because all the analysts have been saying the price of oil is going to be predicted to hit over 75 a barrel. So there's still range in there for people to make money on this. It's just, I'm not saying I'm not a financial advisor, but I do listen to financial advisors when they're very adamant, and I hear it over and over again. I generally take those ideas and try to make them work for me. As a consumer, typically I would be getting bombed at the pump right now, paying more money for gas, but I'm offsetting that the best way I know how. Anyways, not to highbrow you. You just don't look into it. If you looked into it, you'd see it.
You know what? Well, I mean, sometimes people can look at the same information and come up with different conclusions.
Yes.
But that being said, AKA Willie wants to know why my eyes are dark, and it is a byproduct of my diabetes. And the fact of the matter is, I strive for a good diet, but it's hard. And you know what? This is my kidneys working overtime a little bit, but I am 51 years old. I'm a little bit older, and what can I tell you, man? It's certainly not easy, but I try every day to challenge my diet. I haven't had sugar in a long time, and I do struggle with that. And I struggle with my cravings. I still probably eat a little bit too much, and my blood sugar is a little higher than it has to be. And I'm really trying to fast. I just haven't gotten to that point where I'm gonna fast. But when I fast, I feel much better. And yeah, she says take zinc and vitamin K. Yeah, and I was talking to a person on Discord. I'm not going to say the name because it's a vulgar name, but she was Palestinian. She's a really attractive Palestinian girl, but she did mention that I was in like, who is the old man when I came on the stage, and it's kind of funny. But
Why did she say that?
she's an angry person. She's an angry Palestinian who, she's really angry right now, and probably she hates old white men too because they're seen as conservative and supportive.
Yeah, people made me feel old this weekend too. I hear you. It ain't easy. You know what? Midlife. We're midlifers here. What do you want from us?
Were you playing basketball and they made you feel like an old geezer?
No, just you hear comments here and there.
Hey, Grandpa.
Hey, Gramps.
Sorry, Boomer. You're not a boomer, but hey, sorry, Boomer. You're now the new Boomer. Gen X is the new Boomer.
Hey, Boomer.
Oh, and political Woodstock. Oh, poor Palestine. Well, I don't know if I agree with that. It's a sad situation, and I'll get into that. Don Lemon, I guess, is leaving his new show and starting a new one, a newly named Hours after CNN tonight. I guess he's not going to do a show anymore. And there was a gay man that was killed in Iran. Actually, he was beheaded. Jesus. Aziz Faraz Mafad wanted to live as a free gay man in the West. His family in Iran beheaded him days before his dream came true. Oh my God.
Now, there was something earlier that I think Apocalypse sent a link to, something called NeuroCam. I think we should listen to this video.
By the way, I want to also, this is an interesting story. Kid reporter Damon Weaver, who interviewed Obama, is dead at 23.
Where'd you find that? Drudge?
Yahoo News.
Let's see if Drudge has it.
His name is Damon Weaver, dead at 23.
I don't see it on their list yet. They'll probably have it in the morning or whenever they do updates.
He was studying communications at Georgia Albany University to fulfill his dream of becoming a sports journalist and was looking forward to returning to school in the fall. According to Hardy, she called her brother's interview with Obama a life-changing for him, adding that it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. She said her brother was an inspiration for other children. Now, how did he die, though? That's the thing. And let me see here. It doesn't say how he died, so we don't know.
Damon Weaver. It said here died of natural causes at the age of 23.
Yeah, yeah.
That's weird.
And Meghan McCain slams Marjorie Taylor Greene for making Republicans look like psychotic barbarians.
Hmm.
And poll most GOP voters think the 2020 election was illegitimate, but lawmakers should prioritize other issues. And let's see here. So let's see what's trending on Twitter right now.
I'm also going to look for a couple links I have here somewhere as soon as I find them. Who's our president again?
Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah.
And as I'm looking at Twitter, 60 Minutes is trending right now. What happened? UFOs just casually acknowledged as real on 60 Minutes tonight. And yeah, they did. And you don't believe it now, Joe. You were a big UFO fan, but you do not believe that UFOs are real.
Well, wait a second. That's not true. Exactly.
Okay.
Things are up in the air that I've seen things occur in the air that I can't explain. Not many times, but a couple times in my life that I can point to and say that was weird. What did I just see? And so those are unidentified. But as far as the UFO meme, aliens or extraterrestrials from another plane of existence, it's all kind of weird. I don't think there's no smoking gun to me, none.
You know what, Joe? And I think that we will do a segment on UFO movies.
Yeah, and I mean, I was a UFO, right? I was the Santa Monica City UFO buzz writer a long time ago. I wrote hundreds of articles about UFO sightings, what people have seen. I was very interested in the topic for many years, and yeah, my first blog was a UFO blog, and that still gets a lot of hits, a lot of traffic. I don't update it anymore, but yeah, it's always been top. I think the paranormal, the whole paranormal game is paranormal is just a sucker's game.
Do you remember that guy on what was it? God, he used to do the paranormal stuff.
Art Bell.
Art Bell, yeah.
Well, he was a different kind. Like, he was a genius at what he did. He was so entertaining and interesting. But the new wave of the people that succeeded him, George Norrie is real faith-based, a Christian kind of sort of guy, and a lot of their team, George, wait, what was the guy's name? There's a guy that some of our friends really like. One of the correspondents for George Norrie. These guys are all, in my opinion, they're all just trying to make a buck, and I get it, but I think they're also full of shit. Pardon my French.
You know what? They very well may be. But I would listen to Art Bell at times, and he would. It was really interesting. I don't know if I necessarily believed in what he was talking about and what he was saying, but I certainly found it entertaining. I also used to listen to Roy Masters as well. Didn't necessarily believe in everything that he said either, but I found him to be very entertaining and very soothing as a voice. Did you ever listen to Roy Masters, Joe?
No, I don't remember Roy Master. I think I may have looked him up when you after I met you because you mentioned him a few times, but I
The
know he
stuff
is.
he fascinated me. Now he's a British Jew, and his real name is Reuben Uberstein, and he changed his name to Roy to Roy
Yeah,
Master.
thank God he changed that name. Wow, that's a gnarly name.
Yeah, but he had a very hypnotic voice and a very soothing voice, and I did enjoy it. And I
Political Woodstock says Laura Eisenhower is. Hey, Brian, can you mute when I'm talking because it's a big echo? Um, Laura Eisenhower's cool. Check her out. I know Laura Eisenhower. I've done a few shows with her, so I'll try to find links to those. But yeah, she and I know each other, and I'm gonna try to get her to maybe she can come on our show, man. I don't know. Have you ever heard of her, Brian?
is she related to the president, Dwight?
She's Dwight Eisenhower's, I want to say granddaughter, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, she's definitely related. Um, I don't agree with everything she says. I even had problems with Dwight, but as far as presidents go, there's been worse. But Laura's awesome. She's really a positive woman, and she's kind of fearless. I've heard her, she's very opinionated, and I really like her. I think she goes on tons of shows. I don't see why she wouldn't come on ours. So I'll have to ask her if you like Laura.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was, you know, I'm kind of a fan of Eisenhower and
Oh, you
Truman,
might
and
you might like talking to her then, man. You might even be able to pull out some info that not a lot of people can get out of her because I don't think not too many people out there on YouTube, they're not very aware of our past, or they're not historians. So, and she goes on a lot of kind of out there shows. So maybe if we pull her in for a different kind of show, she likes those out there topics, and she gets into the UFO thing and energy healing and all of that. But I would like to hear her thoughts on politics.
does she talk about politics that often, or is she more a UFO type of person?
Since I've known her, I haven't really heard her go down that. I even went and looked for some of her older podcasts. But anyways, we'll talk to her and try to get her on. I am old, dude.
Cosmic. So she's into this cosmic stuff. I mean, I guess her father. Her grandfather is. Let's see, Laura Eisenhower. Okay, so yeah, she is a little bit on the different side here.
Yeah. No, she's really cool though. She's actually open. She's just a really nice chick. Like she definitely can hold her own. Like she's not intimidated, and she's boisterous. I really like her. I think you'd get a kick out of her.
I never, and all this time I never knew that you knew Laura Eisenhower.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been on maybe five different panels with her.
And I think she is not a Trump fan. Wait. Wait. Tracy See, I'm looking at Laura Eisenhower. Okay, because I was looking at Laura Eisenhower and I saw her Twitter, and it's not the same as. Let me see here. Is that her real name though? I mean, Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, and
Talking about. So Angela, if you know her, go for it. Go ask her and get her on. Yeah, that's not. We have some ideas for shows though. I think we should get some people in here to talk. Do your research off when the show's off, Brian. This is a grab bag show.
You're right. This is a grab bag show. And by the way, I'm getting a little tired. I want to go to bed early, Joey.
Oh, you suck.
You can continue the show if you want to.
What am I going to do? Talk about transparency or merit?
Yeah, that's something you can do. But I do want to start going to bed early and starting a good path.
Yes, start the week strong.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with my diet as I should, as best I should. I've been improvement, but as my dark circles are showing, and get in the habit of breathing through your nose instead of your mouth. I gotta unclog my nose before I can breathe through it, Willie. So I will do that. All right, Joey. Anything else to add before we end it? So we might talk to Laura Eisenhower, and we're gonna start to strive to have guests on our show and begin to talk about things that concern local, national, and worldwide events. Joe, anything to add? Oh, like and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment down below.
That's right. I think we're good. Do you have anybody to thank here? Thanks, Angela and Andy Bowen. I don't know if you've seen Andy Bowen lately, but it's pretty good. He's made some changes. He's got Botox. Willie's here. Good job, Willie. Sucking the life out of our show as you always do.
Yes.
Do you have anything else, Brian, to say to this lovely crowd?
Well, I want to say like and subscribe, and I want to tell people to do the best they can, no matter what, and always try. And remember that it's not going to be perfect, and perfection is the enemy of progress. Just go out and do it, and let the chips fall where they may. And maybe leave a comment down below. We don't get a lot of those on our videos, so you can do that.
If anybody has a good slogan that we could use, like I like what you just said, perfection is the enemy of progress.
Yes.
Have you heard that from somewhere else, or did you make that up?
No, that is not my saying. That is when I was on Debbie Daly's show, they had a person who did a thing on overcoming procrastination.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Said perfection is the enemy of progress.
Why don't we do one that says wearing a bib is the enemy of dribbling?
All right.
All right. That's it.